What's up, y'all? It's your boy Marcel. Okay, that sounds weird. But anyway, welcome everyone. And today we're going to have a look at Final Fantasy XIV History Lessons by Larryzaur. And I'm so curious about it and about what kind of history lessons we're gonna see in this one. And if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And by the way, I saw Asmongold reacted to this video as well. I haven't watched it yet because I want to avoid spoilers, but I'm so going to watch Asmongold's reaction after this to that one as well. I'm curious. Anyway, let's have a look now.
Yep, today I'm going to tell you all about the history of Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh,
For
yeah?
instance, did you know that Bard LB3 used to be the healer LB3?
What?
That's right. When a Bard did LB3, they would raise the entire party. Pretty cool. In order to unlock the job, you used to have to level another job to level 15. For instance, to get Black Mage, you would have to get Thaumaturge to level 30 and Archer to level 15. And
Wait. I didn't know this information. Holy shit. So they were like, so for the second jobs basically, like let's say Black Mage or Bard or Scholar or something, so you had to get 2 jobs to also level to a certain level, like level 15. Holy shit. Yo, that was grindy then, very grindy.
level 30 and Archer to level 15. And not
So
only that, but
grindy.
all of these role abilities here, they used to be called cross-class abilities.
Cross-class?
And you would unlock them from leveling up other jobs and getting their skills. For instance, Swift Cast came from Black Mage level 26. So if you were a healer, you had to level Black Mage in order to have Swift Cast raise. Level 26.
Oh, I'm glad they
And
removed
Dragoon
that.
had blood for blood, but that worked on all the melees, so all the other melees had to level Dragoon to get the damage buff. Provoke was a paladin ability.
So
You
grindy.
could only get it from paladin. If you played warrior, you had to level paladin, or you didn't have provoke. This video is sponsored by Ragnarok Origin.
Ragnarok. Wait, I actually heard about this
Ragnarok
before.
Origin, where the fantasy becomes reality. This epic MMORPG on mobile has begun pre-registration.
Mobile.
Enter in a fantasy open world and discover mysterious, fun, and evil secrets hidden in this magical adventure. It's got infinite character customization.
That looks nice,
Customize and
though.
Upgrade your weapons, armor, magic abilities, and more to match your playstyle and defeat your opponents. And look at this art, it's so nice. Who wouldn't want to live a heroic fantasy life? What anime should I watch? Do I still watch anime? Of course.
Yeah, we all watch anime probably.
For anime fans. So if Ragnarok Origin looks interesting to you, go visit the pre-registration site in the link in the description below and pre-register today. And they're even giving away a Tesla Model S. So yeah, I think
Wait, they're giving away a car?
Healers used to have this thing called cleric stance. I'm not
What is a
talking
cleric
about the
stance?
old cleric stance that would
Huh?
buff your damage. No. I'm talking about old cleric stance. The one where you would have to push a button and then swap between heal mode and DPS mode. Let's say I push a button. Okay, I'm in cleric stance. Now all of my DPS skills actually do damage, right? But
Holy
all
shit,
my
you have
heals
to switch?
don't
That's
heal.
just like
So
with
now if
Black
I heal
Mage with
somebody, I
ice
have to
and
pop
fire.
cleric stance off and then heal them. And this was freaking great. You could tell people, no man, I can't heal you right now. I'm in cleric stance. Yeah, they should bring that back. I think everybody would really like that. Yeah,
No.
here's a fun one. Gear used to have accuracy stats on it, and you would need a minimum accuracy in order to even hit the boss. Yeah, there was a different number for the front, the rear, and the...
Wait, so if you're below that, you're just gonna permanently miss the boss? Yo, that sucks. That means even if you have a certain level, you can't get to a certain dungeon because you need to have like a certain item accuracy or something like that. Oh, that sucks. So grindy.
side. Yeah, so if you were a tank and you didn't meet the front accuracy requirement, guess what? All your hits miss and you don't keep aggro. Yeah, so you would have to build your entire gear set around making sure you hit accuracy cap. It sucked. And we didn't always look this beautiful and amazing. Yeah, in the beginning of the game, we didn't have glamours. Yeah, we looked like this. You know, a tome chest, hands from a raid.
That looks like a cultist or something.
Yeah. This one might actually be the biggest quality of life change.
Glamour, the true endgame, yeah?
When you wiped, your cooldowns did not reset. So if you pulled and somebody hit hollowed ground and they needed it, and then everybody died, you had to wait the 7 minutes for hollow ground to come back.
Holy shit, the whole group...
Sped up prog.
Yo, that sucks. That means the whole group has to wait for one person that messed up. Oh. Oh, this would have led to a very cancerous relationship between group mates. Holy shit, they would get like toxic at each other for that.
So much. Oh yeah, and if you died, you lost your food buff. Yeah, every time you died, you had to put your food buff back on. If any group had a bard, which most did, dragoons were required because they would give a piercing debuff to the boss, and that would buff the bard's damage. Also, there used to be 3 bars. We had HP, MP, and TP. And the physical jobs would all work off of TP. And yeah, guess what? Whenever you push sprint, you would use up your entire TP gauge, and you wouldn't be able to attack anymore. Pretty good for casters and healers, though, because they used MP. Oh, yeah, and dying would reduce all of your stats. So all of the stats? Your health would get lower, too. Which really did not end up helping your cause, because it just became easier to die then.
Yeah, exactly.
They do a lot more managing with their enmity than they do now. Actually, everybody in the whole party would kind of help out, especially ninjas. They had an ability where they could give their enmity to the tank, and they actually had an ability where they could reduce somebody else's enmity, including the tank. And of course, asking the black mage to make sure they did quelling strikes before they used all their explosions, that was very common. Otherwise, the boss would go whoop and kill the black mage. You know, melees still cry about position.
Yo, I'm actually glad that they changed that, because from what I'm hearing here, like how the game used to be, this used to be insanely complex then with like the group. Like you had to completely adjust to your teammates. Like who is with you in the party? Do you have a dragoon? Do you have a bard together? What about the black mage? Okay, when the black mage is there, the group must do this and that. Oh, that sucks. And that makes even like the combat so slow paced instead of fast paced. Because the Final Fantasy XIV that we know now to like today, we just get into a dungeon and we just go boom mode, right? And yeah, sure, there are like certain things we have to do as a group. Like, I mean, we still have like stuff like trick attack, and people can, you know, time their like cooldown skills on that. And yeah, healers of course need to keep up buffs, scholars need to keep shields up and stuff. Like, true, there's like stuff you need to still look out for in a group, but it's less complex than it used to be, and I think that's nice.
Melees still cry about positionals now, but back in the day, if you missed a positional,
then
you
what?
broke your combo. Dots wouldn't happen, the buffs
Oh, skills don't come off, so you just don't get.
It was way worse.
Oh shit. Now you get a bonus if you do it right, but if you don't do it right, you still do damage.
Yeah, it made a lot more sense. And he had a health bar. They don't have health bars anymore. In fact, there was a whole strat surrounding that. This fight was way too hard for the tanks at the time, so we would just bring Titan Eggy, and Titan Eggy would tank remove. Reason being is he didn't have to do the tank mechanics. But yeah, Square Enix did not like that, so they...
yeah, that's broken. It's too overpowered in my opinion.
Something about wanting the tanks to be able to play the game. I mean, summoners back then were even able to solo extreme fights because of Titan. So yeah, don't worry, Titan Eggy. I'm sure someday you'll do something good again.
You could solo this?
They have 2 fairies, Eos and Celine. You might be wondering what's the difference.
How did they even introduce something that broken? He just said that people were able to solo freaking extremes. Huh? Yo, that's broken. That means one DPS that has a tank pet. Yo, but that still takes a long time, I believe. Like, even if you solo it and you know the mechanics, this must take eternity.
Right now there's not a difference, but there used to be a big one. So Eos used to be the healer focused fairy. It did a lot of AoE regens and
what did Celine do?
Celine, on the other hand, was the DPS fairy, specifically because it gave everybody haste. Yeah, Celine was the best.
So everyone attacks faster.
Especially for black mages. We freaking love Celine. Yeah, but she doesn't do that anymore, so bye. You used to be able to assign points to your attributes. So like you would put 30 points into strength or 30 points into intelligence, right? So if you wanted to be able to play both scholar and summoner, whenever you swapped, you need to buy this item that would reset your stat allocation points between mind and intelligence. Yeah, back in the day, you couldn't actually just queue up for raids in the Duty Finder. You had to go to where the raid was physically located with your whole party of 8 people physically here and queue up at the location. Yeah, and this meant that all of the raiders on the server would be here during
It's a bit like in WoW Classic.
There would be people sitting here waiting for their raid to start, or there'd be people over here jumping up and down naked asking for a raid group.
Really?
It was simple.
So the RPers they used... Okay, now we know where the RPers, like the roleplayers, used to hang out at dungeon entrances. Because they had to roleplay half the day to get one dungeon run or something, right? Oh, yo, that sucks. And like manually recruit people. Yo, there are like some stuff that he's now saying that I didn't see in the documentary. Like I checked out the Fall and Rise of Final Fantasy XIV. I'm like episode 5 now. And here's some stuff that I didn't hear about yet. Oh wow, that's actually very interesting. Maybe the next episodes will have that.
And this would change depending on the tier. Like this is where second coil was, and right over this way, this is where the final coil was. You see this entrance right here? This is where everybody would be. Oh yeah, and by the way, cross-world party finder was not a thing. You could only raid with the people that were on your
on the same server.
So again, that's why all the raiders were here on raid night, and if you weren't here on raid night, you couldn't raid.
Wow,
but, I
this
mean,
would take a
now
long
we have
time.
A full party finder, and you're gonna be able to find a raid no matter what time
Yeah,
of day. So
the comfort of
ultimately,
life.
it's better for the game that way.
Such
You know
convenience.
how all of our raids nowadays are called Savage. It'll say Savage difficulty.
Oh,
And
that's
the
savage,
raid.
man.
Well, back in A Realm Reborn, the coils were Savage. They just didn't have that naming convention yet. These were the end game raids. And when you see a second coil Savage, these were super hard. Their whole idea of making these was how mean can we be? And in these older raids, since they have trash mobs in between the entrance and the boss, you would have somebody join a party earlier on in the week to go in and clear the trash, and that would get you a shortcut. So that way, when you did have raid time during that week, you could just use the shortcut and start attacking the boss right away. We don't have to do that anymore, because now raids are just, you know, you queue in, you're at the boss. And it's unfortunate, but like these older raids, like Coil especially, you can never fight it like how it used to be. Even with minimum item level on and no echo.
I mean, I do like a bit about like the older way, like how it is also saying now, that it used to be like, probably it gave players a more rewarding feeling when they did beat it, because they knew they had to like really prepare hard for it, find their group, and they had to like fight through trash mobs and stuff, and to get to a certain spot to be able to fight the boss like that. Like, I feel like this must have felt even more rewarding back then, right? Is actually anyone here watching my video right now that played back then? And let me know how you felt. Like, was it like really that much of a headache playing back then, and with like all the way you have to like get into raids and dungeons? Or was it like maybe pretty chill, pretty cool, because it was like more social, because you had to like manually find people? Like, I'm wondering about that, because in my World of Warcraft experience, for example, I find WoW Classic, that is more complex to get into dungeons and stuff and raids, I find this more social than WoW Retail, for example. And that's because you have to struggle to get to a freaking dungeon or something. In WoW Retail, you just use the freaking group finder. It's easy, you're in. And you use Dungeon Finder, you get in. But in WoW Classic, you freaking walk to this dungeon, and then you just all gather there and you go in.
Like how it used to be. Even with minimum item level on and no echo, the fight is nerfed from its original state. They don't do this anymore, but they did at the time. Every patch after a raid would come out, they would nerf the previous tier. For instance, in this fight, a Reynad, if it hit you, you would die. One shot, you're dead. And then all of the petrification mechanics in this fight, if you petrified your teammate or somebody else petrified you, and you got hit by anything while you were petrified, no matter how much damage it did, you died. Another cool thing with this fight was that you needed to get a kiter. You see this tether going from me to the Reynad there? You needed a specific person in the raid team to do this job, and it would usually be a summoner. So the party finders would always be like, need summoner, need summoner. Because the kiter would bring the Reynad over here, and they would slow it down with their dot, and then the healers would freeze it in place. And you would do that with 4 Reynads, and eventually it just wouldn't spawn anymore. Fun fact with that, in the Savage version of Turn 7, the Reynads keep coming, and there's 2 of them at a time. Yeah, the way that they designed Turn 7 Savage was they looked at how we did strats and how we cheese things, and then made it impossible for us to cheese it anymore. Now, in Turn 2, there was this really funny strat. Because Allegan Rot was too hard and nobody wanted to do it, that's the debuff that you gotta pass around, otherwise you explode. What you would do instead was wait for the enrage timer, 12 minutes, and you would bring in 3 healers, and you would pull ADS just as it enraged, and then you would just heal through all the damage that it did instead. See, charge complete in 10 clicks, gotta wait for 0 clicks. 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. Oh,
charge complete.
Charge complete. Now we pull, it's enraged. Yep, this was much easier to deal with than doing Rot. He just keeps doing this AoE over and over and over again. But you would need 3 healers spam healing you over and over to live.
Oh,
also,
wow.
Mordona in general didn't always look like this. Yep, there used to be a big tree here. Not sure why they took that out. Everybody would stand up here.
Yeah, why did
You
they
would show
remove
off
that?
your
I think it would be
cool
nice
character
to
by
have that.
standing right here. Or maybe even a mount, right? You're like, oh, I earned this really awesome mount. Oh, that actually kind of worked out. And you just sit right here with it and show everybody.
That's
But
an interesting
actually,
mount indeed.
The greatest part about Mordona was this secret little glitch over here. You
What
could do
glitch?
this, bada bing, bada boom, jump up here,
And then?
jump over this way, crap, go over here, jump across that, jump onto this rope, and look, now I'm on this rope. See, isn't this nice?
That's nice. Wait, you cannot do it anymore? You can just fly there with a
but
mount.
It's not that special anymore because we can just fly.
Exactly.
So yeah, and yeah, that's it. Actually, there's probably a lot of different things.
I think it's better that we can fly now, though.
Final Fantasy 14.
Can you get around quicker?
Time, but for now, that's all I've got. So thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.
Yeah, this was really interesting. Like, I've heard stuff now for the first time and learned new things about, like, how Final Fantasy 14 used to be like when it comes to, like, freaking raids and dungeons. You know, that's interesting. This is almost like in WoW Classic. Like, seriously, it really comes close to that sort of experience. But that with the summer there, why did they even, like, add something that broken? Did they not know it was, like, freaking broken when they added it to the game or what? Like, that's crazy. So the Titan Eggy used to be a freaking tank pet, and you can use like Titan to tank bosses and solo like content if you know all the mechanics. You just dodge it and you probably take like 10 times longer than you would with a group because you're just 1 DPS, but that you could solo this kind of stuff, like that's interesting, like seriously. Wow. And a bot could like raise the whole party and stuff, holy shit. But this with the jobs, like the secondary jobs, that you have to get certain jobs to level 15 to unlock them. That must have been crazy grindy, because once if you want to play like, let's say 2 jobs and you get to like the secondary one. I'll give an example. You want to have like a white mage and you want to have, let's say, a dragoon. So for the dragoon, you need to do this and that kind of side job, but then you want to also get your white mage ready, because you want to sometimes maybe be a healer, another DPS. And then you have to probably level there 2-3 other jobs to level 15. I mean, the way now leveling is pretty fast, right? But what if someone wants to get straight to the story and only have like 2-3 jobs they focus on? Then they still need to level all the other jobs that they probably never gonna play, right? I'm glad that they changed it and made it the way it is. Oh wow. This is a really interesting video by Larryzaur, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have a look at Asmongold's reaction to that one. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And I would also really appreciate if you like this video. This will help out with the YouTube algorithm. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. Please stay all safe and healthy. And I will see you guys next time.